And good afternoon on Thursday, October 27th. Are you tired of hearing from us yet? Have you turned off your YouTube notifications yet? One more show out of CNET today with the 359 podcast, episode 131 with Roger Cheng and Alfred Ng.
Yes, and just like every other show today, we'll be talking about Apple. So get your MacBook and Apple TV questions ready. It's already Thursday, and we've had, two events back-to-back, Microsoft and Apple. How are you guys not exhausted right now?
You saying we're not? What are you talking about?
I'm running on pure adrenaline.
All right, there we go. All right.
Because they're so exciting.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit about that. But yeah, the show's all focused on Apple today. MacBook Pros, no MacBook Air update, no iMac update. A little bit of a toss out to Apple TV. So if you have any questions about Apple, leave them in the comments section. Brian, our producer, will feed them to us. We'll do our best to answer them. Let's get started.
All right. Audio is rolling. Let's get this podcast recording underway, and we'll be back to take questions and comments in 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day and all the other crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Apple just wrapped up its event where we saw the new MacBook Pro. The marquee feature on this device is the long-rumored Touch Bar. Now, are you blown away?
I am impressed by the fact that, Microsoft yesterday, they go with all this, they go all out. They have the Surface Studio, this giant touchscreen, and then the Surface Book. It's all touch. And then, Apple comes in with this simple update that's, it makes so much sense. It's just, they didn't go the extra route where it's just, why don't you just do this?
Do you think that this revolutionizes laptops?
I think revolutionizes is a strong word, so I don't think it does that at all. I think it's been a long time coming. I mean, coming from the company that, put out the iPhone where, they thought of, let's just make everything touch. I don't understand why it took, 9 years after the iPhone came out for them to realize, oh, wait, why don't we just have this thing? But a lot of the features that they've showed off is like, you can just do that with the trackpad. It makes no sense.
Right. I mean, it's a neat gimmick, and I'm eager to check it out to see how many different applications actually take advantage of this bar. But, I mean, part of me wonders, why didn't they just put in a full touchscreen? Like, the demonstration with the DJ as he was kind of like scrubbing and messing with the audio, I'm like, if you just had two virtual turntables on the screen, this would be way easier.
I know. One of the funnier things to me watching that DJ demo was like, I've always wanted to play, turntables with my index fingers.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not making any of the DJ motions. You're kind of like just moving your fingers back and forth.
Some of the other features are pretty cool, though. I mean, the Final Cut Pro demo, I really liked. The Photoshop demo I thought was interesting. Yep. Even the emoji bar, that made a lot of sense to me. I no longer have to go online and Google, poop emoji and then copy and paste that into a tweet.
There you go. Apple has changed your life. That's how they're changing
poop
things.
Emojis are at my fingertips now. So
I mean, I don't know. I'm still a little kind of I'm still processing it, but I'm not really that floored by it. One of the other things, the prices for all these MacBooks have gone up. The starting price is $1499, and that's without the Touch Bar, and that's $200 more than the starting price of the existing MacBook Pro. So you're paying a big premium for this feature, right?
Yeah, that was a big reason why I have never bought a MacBook Pro or any Apple products besides their phones and iPods.
Right.
It just never seemed worth it to me, and it still doesn't, even with this with the Touch Bar. Again, because there's so many of the features that are on it. I can use the trackpad for that, and until it becomes like an industry standard or something that like everyone is using, I really don't see. I don't think it's worth an extra $200.
No, and I think you're right. I think a lot of people aren't particularly interested. People get interested about phones, even tablets to some degree, but the computers kind of like, unless you need one, you're not really going to run out and get it. It's interesting to note the MacBook Air is still in the lineup. It's basically unchanged, no chip update, nothing. It's basically there so Apple can say their Mac line starts at $999.
Yeah, the MacBook Air, though, I mean, with this new update, though, is pretty much dead, it seems. I mean, with, the new MacBook Pro being thinner and smaller than the MacBook Air, which is kind of its selling point. Now its selling point is its price.
It's cheap.
So,
well, look, they're not updating it, so obviously they don't really care about it that much. It's just out there because people still like it. Lastly, they introduced a new TV app. What do you think? It combines. It's a single source for all your different video sources, right?
It's funny Netflix isn't on it though, which is one of the largest.
That's kind of a problem, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to leave it at that. For more on Apple, check us out at CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
Can I do my impression?
Sure.
Can I do my
Hot take.
impression of the Microsoft event and the Apple event?
All right, do
you ready?
it. Do it.
This is my official recap. My views do not reflect the opinions of CNET.com.
Nope, it's just Brian.
Okay.
Brian.com.
Oh, he's doing it. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Wow, that's dramatic. And loud.
Microsoft dropped the mic.
Really?
He keeps
Row
that mic
soft.
under his desk.
Really?
That was just for now. And I ruined it.
He always just carries a
I
mic
actually
around
thought
and drop.
both presentations were like kind of ho hum.
Presentation wise, okay. That's
Product-wise?
one thing product wise.
Yeah. Yes. The only thing is that Microsoft may have dropped the mic on this like crazy awesome or crazy big Surface Studio, but it's not a product that like anyone's gonna buy. Like talking about price, like the starting price of that thing is $3,200.
There were more innovations at Microsoft than there were
Oh
at
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
The product was much better. I just think from a consumer angle, it's kind of like he's right. Who's gonna buy this?
Microsoft.
Businesses.
I think
Yeah.
Microsoft did a good
Businesses.
job. I don't even know if businesses are gonna. I mean, maybe some, but
I've certainly talked to a few art and photography people that I've worked with in the past.
But
and
that's like
they
a total
are
niche.
foaming at the mouth.
that's like a total niche thing.
Sure
right?
is.
That's like the same folks who buy the Mac Pro. That's not a huge number, but
Yeah.
I think it's more impressive because Microsoft is trying to build an aspirational product. Like that's something you're like, oh my god, that's awesome. It's super cool. I'm never gonna buy it, but at least it's it shows you what Microsoft can do, and so in that respect, I think that's impressive. Like this MacBook Pro it's nice, I guess. It's like
fine.
it's cool. I mean, it doesn't make me want to go buy it. It doesn't make me think that Apple's any cooler or better.
I just
No.
can't wait until 2017 for the Apple Studio with their dial, and everyone will think they invented
maybe it'll be
it.
the Apple Slate. They kept that was a long rumor name for the iPad. The Apple Slate. It'll be like this giant thing that folds up and down mysteriously like Microsoft.
And then they said the word pad out loud, and the entire world collectively,
yeah. There's a little bit of giggling.
a little.
Yeah.
I am personally I'm kind of interested in this touch bar thing only because I do a lot of audio editing.
Sure,
You're
yeah.
welcome, by the way. But I'd like to see
We
how that actually.
appreciate that.
Take out
I would
all the
like to
curse
see how
words.
that performs. Believe me, I'm not trying to sit here and being like, this is the next innovation and
Yeah.
interface technology. It's not, but I'm like, oh, that could actually be nice.
Like I said, I'm keen to see how many different apps take advantage of this because like the more apps that do, I mean, yeah, it becomes handy and actually useful. It just again, it doesn't really excite me.
I think it's a nice subtle update. I don't. You're right. I don't think it's exciting. I think it's subtle, where it's like, this is really cool, and we weren't that extra about it, as opposed to Microsoft Studio, where it's this giant thing, and then the
Right.
$100 dial,
dial.
and then even their demo of it, where it's like, all right, you take it, then you stick it on your screen like a magnet, and you like a
Which
combination
is kind of
lock.
awesome. I mean,
But it's so extra.
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know if there's any use for that for me. But just knowing that I could do that is kind of awesome. Very like Minority Report.
Obviously, if anyone's still kind of out of the loop, as I am, because I did not get to see the whole keynote.
Oh yeah.
So
The
if you're
Apple or Microsoft?
Apple.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So if you're looking for some context, obviously check the CNET.com and YouTube.com/CNET. We got clips rolling out.
Way to plug us.
Hey, that's why we are here.
Well, any questions?
Batteries. What's this situation with
10
such?
hours.
Yeah, that's lame.
10 hours. That's slightly more than the previous version. I mean, yeah.
6 hours less than the Surface Book.
Bingo.
True.
Also, it
But-
has half the
but
video memory.
How
though.
much is the Surface Book? Isn't that pretty expensive too?
It is. I mean, they're all
They're
more
all
expensive than they should be at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
USB. Apple
USB.
is just
four USB-C
Apple
ports.
is just amputating.
Oh my god, you have to. I was just making this comment. on
Dongles
Twitter
everywhere.
recently. Yeah, you need to have dongles if you're an Apple user now, like for anything, because someone hands you a thumb drive. You're like,
come-
what are we gonna do with this?
Here
can't-
comes that dongle boy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Q4 reports from Apple, where it's essentially
Accessory sales.
all our sales are way up in dongles.
Oh my god.
That's all their profits.
Record profits on dongles.
It's official. I quit CNET. I'm going to go into dongle creation at this point.
There you go.
I'm going to be a door-to-door dongle salesman.
That sounds so dirty.
Anyone in the chat? Let's see what you think. Let's hear it. The touchpad or the dial?
Bar, the
yeah, the touch bar or dial. What do you want?
Oh, Team Puck or Team Strip?
Take.
Oh, nice.
I think Bridget Carey coined that on her Twitter.
Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Bridget.
Yeah, well done, Bridget.
So yeah, Team Puck or Team Strip?
I guess I'm Team Strip only for
brand aside.
practicality
No,
purposes.
brand aside. No loyalties here. What do you think is actually a better peripheral?
Here's my thing though, the Puck. What if it's compatible with other devices though?
It is.
Where it's not just the Surface
You don't need a
Studio?
Surface. I think you just need a Windows 10 device with an anniversary edition.
Oh, then I'm
update.
totally for Team Puck. Think about I don't need the big
No, you don't need the. You don't need the.
I
big
can do that
thing.
on any laptop.
Any touchscreen laptop. Yes.
Yeah, then it's definitely that because with the Strip,
Except
it's
I
kind of
haven't
like.
quite figured out if there's a real use for the dial thing. Like that seems like a
Well,
cool
if I could
novelty
just
for
buy
5
that
seconds.
and then just go to other places and do it and look cool.
To be
So
fair,
I've used-
To be fair, it's $100 extra.
Yes.
The Strip comes with the MacBook Air.
Yeah,
Or
but
Pro,
that's
sorry.
$300
Built into the
extra for the
price.
version
Built
that has
into the
it.
price, yes. Yeah, that's true.
I've used devices in the past that have employed a dial type feature, like old mixing consoles when I was doing radio way
I guess
back
for
in the
audio,
day.
that would. Yeah.
And it's not a completely uncomfortable, completely new territory for me.
okay.
So as far as like getting used to that thing, because you remember like when trackballs came out versus a mouse versus a touchpad,
God.
Sure,
and
yeah.
people were like, oh, what the hell is this? I don't know how to use my hands anymore. And I don't think that's the case with the dial with a lot of us.
I miss the
There's still plenty of
trackball.
them. It's like,
I
Actually.
thought trackballs were awful.
yeah,
When you're in page design, trackballs are awesome, man.
we got a lot of Apple loyal users who are disappointed.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Look, if you could take the bar and then put it on any other of your Apple devices, I'd side with that. But I'm like more into like open environments.
Right.
Whereas, this is like lodged into your keyboard.
That
Okay,
makes sense.
we were talking about this before the show. Like, I'm sitting here with my company-sanctioned MacBook, and look at all this dead space down at the bottom here.
Yep.
Why is that not all touch? If not, like, swappable touch?
True.
And then I'm just thinking about the movement for it too, where it's like, you're typing and then this and then back
Right,
to this. It's very frustrating.
That is kind of awkward. That's why I mean.
And then what happens if
Why
your
didn't
fing-
they just add a full touchscreen monitor? I feel like it's more comfortable to do this than it is to do like.
And then what happens if it cracks? Then it's kind of like you don't have an escape key.
That's why you gotta get Apple Care.
And see, that was the one thing when I had Windows laptops for a long time. I got a Mac many years ago, and the first thing it took me, and I'm still not, I can't say like I'm completely adjusted to, is the digital volume control that's button-based, not dial-based.
Yeah.
I hate
Oh, yeah, it's very
that.
frustrating.
I will always hate that because if I'm doing something intense and my, let's be honest, older MacBook at this point that I'm editing audio at home and I kill the RAM on it and it's like, hold on a second, I can't make it quieter yet. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
That sucks.
Or you push the button, you're sort of waiting for it to go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Lame. But no, at least it was a relatively exciting week. We have a lot to look forward to getting here at the office and getting to experiment with.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think Dan Ackerman, who's out there for the event, he'll be back shortly. We should all get our hands on it, check it out, throw it around.
Like a
We
frisbee.
might have
Like a
to.
frisbee.
recyclable.
We might have to choke him to get it.
That's all right. We'll just
We tie him down.
yeah. What time? There's 3 of us, one him. Anything you wished you saw at the from the Apple event? Like anything you were hoping to see?
Do you think that Apple's going to have a reactionary Surface Studio next year?
No,
I don't know if it's a
I don't think
studio.
so.
I think they're just going to do more stuff to their iPad Pro, though.
Probably.
Yeah. The studio I can't see them doing because that's more akin to an iMac.
What about their stock? Where do you think their stock's going to go after this week?
I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah.
I mean, the MacBook is like 10% of Apple's revenue. So honestly, they could just keep it going. They didn't have to update the MacBook at all, and the revenue would have like chugged along.
Well, yeah, but their phone sales have been going down. Like
They're slipping.
They were down in the last quarter, but you have to remember that there was a supply constraint, which meant that a lot of the revenue hadn't been recognized yet. Because a lot of folks weren't getting their iPhones yet. I just got my iPhone like 2 weeks ago, and I ordered it like the day of. So they're I think I'm willing to bet that it's much stronger fourth quarter.
Here's a bold statement. The dial is the new mouse. Got a lot. We got a pretty good balance of
I-
Team Puck and Team Strips, but
All right.
the dial is the new mouse. That is bold.
That's I don't really know if that's the case. Like I feel like that's it's got very isolated uses.
I
That might
thought
be
it was.
useful.
I thought it was gonna be a mouse when I saw it.
Like
at
it
first.
actually like scroll around.
No,
or-
like you could use it like a
I
wireless
don't think it.
mouse.
I don't think it works that way.
When I first saw it, I thought it was, but then they zoomed out, and then I saw the mouse on the side, and I was like,
Right.
it was not a mouse then.
So you gotta do one of these things. You can't type anymore. You just mouse and dial. No more keyboard.
Shout out to Team Fat Dank.
What?
and then
If
I
you don't
thought-
get it, you're too old.
All right.
And then when I saw it, I thought it was just like a echo kind of thing or something, like a
like a speaker.
yeah,
or
like a Cortana thing. But then it
No,
wasn't that
but
either.
it
And
has.
then it was-
I mean, it has its own mic, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like its own echo,
Yeah.
right? Like you can talk to it. I guess you could. Well, you can't talk to Siri, can you? You have to hold. You have to
Yeah.
hit the button for it.
yeah, and they still don't have Siri on.
So, yeah. Well, they have Siri on. They have Siri on Mac. You can't really call
Yeah.
for her.
Our old buddy Mike is in the chat, and he says could easily have gone without this MacBook event.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
that's
kind of
pretty
agree
true.
with you.
They could have squeezed this into an iPhone event.
This could have
or-
been an email.
By the way, new Mac.
Oh.
You know, usually they are. They're press releases,
Yeah.
right? Like, here's the new Macs, whatever.
Denny's just pointed out something really effective, like that I didn't even occur to me. Being that I shoot a bunch of stuff on SD cards here on
Yeah.
cameras for the company, there's no SD card slot.
No, there's not. Oh.
Nothing native plugging in anymore. How am I supposed to get my footage off the camera?
Dongles.
Shut up.
Dongles are the
Dongle
answer for
it
everything,
up.
man. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about
Do
that.
the dongle.
Wow. Thank you, Denny's.
I know, because I take tons of shots on my SLR, and that's not having the slots, not a.
Alberto points out there are plenty of other card formats too, but there's still no native slot for any of those. So it's
just
going to
USB-C.
be a card dock or nothing, or straight cable.
Oh.
I don't know if they did that for courage or just to cut space on it.
For courage. It's definitely courage, right?
Team dongle.
Still, they do have a headphone jack, so there is that.
I was
Only
interested
problem
in
is-
that.
For now.
No, the only thing is my iPhone 7 headphone will not work on this thing, so won't work on any of the Macs anyways. But
Yeah, that's the funniest thing to me,
Yeah.
that you need a dongle to charge your iPhone on your MacBook now. Because it doesn't go to USB-C, does it?
yeah, you're right. It doesn't. It goes to USB.
Holy crap.
Oh yeah. Jeez. Oh my gosh.
I'm just picturing this like a horrible MacBook spaghetti monster Cthulhu tentacle dongle thing.
if they made the argument about courage on this one, I would on the whole USB stance. I would kind of be okay with that. Less so than the iPhone thing, just because everyone's making that move, and they are definitely being a little bit bold with going all USB-C, because that is the future. I mean, that's where everything's going to go.
Fine, I get
They
it, but
just- they're
they're
just jumping ahead.
rushing it.
They're jumping.
it's
And
very-
meanwhile, people are screaming for 4K, screaming for MagSafe, screaming for OLED, and they're not delivering any of this.
Well, MagSafe they killed it.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me that in Apple's quest to kill off all the wires, they ended up creating even more wires.
Yes, I think Stephen
Hail Hydra.
Shanklin. I think Stephen Shanklin wrote that piece. Just like that, you're gonna end up with an even more complicated set of dongles and wires.
MacBook is #MacBook is the new Hydra. Cut off one head,
Yes.
3 take its place.
3 more dongles.
3 more dongles
I
take
just
its
want to see
place.
a Photoshop of
Hercules!
the Hydra logo now, but it's all dongles.
All right, I'm gonna go work on that. Let's get out of here.
that could happen. Yeah.
That was a fun chat. Thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you for joining us and riffing on
Yes, definitely.
a slight sigh of a keynote today.
I'm just happy that
It's done?
They're both over with.
Yeah,
Microsoft and Apple back to back. Guys, take our advice. Don't do it.
Don't do that again
It's
to
just
us.
It's not good for us. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. You get the whole. You invite the comparisons. You get really exhausted journalists trying to like pound through all these different stories. It's
Thank you,
just
Sean.
not good for anyone.
I'm gonna get MacBook as the new Hydra trending.
All right, there we go.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. If you liked everything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, and Google Play Music. And of course, you can check us out on CNET.com.
See you next week.
See y'all next week. That's right.
Happy
See you on
Halloween.
Monday. Happy Halloween.